Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Deep True Crime. I'm Manny Rodriguez. In today's episode, we're giving you a big update on the Idaho students that were brutally killed on November 13th of this year. Close to 7 weeks later, we finally have someone that's arrested in this case. Let's go ahead and dive into what we know. My friends, today is a great day to hopefully finally get some justice for these 4 students. A lot of us, like myself, have been praying night and day about helping these kids get justice. And now authorities have a suspect in custody in this November 13th incident of the 4 University of Idaho students. So this is according to a high-ranking law enforcement who shared this. And now a lot of people are throwing this out there as there's finally someone who is arrested for this brutal incident. Now, we did hear about a press conference that is going to happen today, so we already knew about that. But then after this announcement, that's when so many people started reporting on this. The news, I got a quick notification from New York Post, and of course I was going to go verify. And then, of course, a 25-year-old man has been arrested. He has been taken into custody by local police and the FBI at 3 a.m. in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Now, that's what a law enforcement source had shared today. The suspect is a college student, but does not attend the University of Idaho. That's what the source added. And the arrested suspect has appeared in court this morning in connection to the slayings of Ethan, Xana, Kaylee, and Madison, who were stabbed to death in a rental home just yards from the University of Idaho campus. This is according to the source. And so today, a press conference is scheduled in Moscow, Idaho, 1 p.m. their time, which is 4 p.m. Eastern time, to announce the major break in this case. Now, the mysterious killings initially baffled investigators and the community and the online community, and left this small little college town of 25,000 people deeply shaken, as no one could understand how this could possibly happen to 4 young students. And the 4 students, they were each stabbed multiple times in the torso and were likely ambushed in their sleep with a large fixed blade knife between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. That's according to Kathy Mabu, the coroner, and the police. Now, 2 surviving female roommates who lived on the basement level appear to have slept through the gruesome attack. Shortly before noon, the roommates, they summoned some friends over to the house because they believed that one of the victims on the second floor, either Xana or Ethan, had passed out. That's what authorities have shared with us. Police, they responded to a 911 call reporting an unconscious person at 11:58 that originated from one of the surviving roommates' phones. The responding officers found the 4 victims on the second and third floors. The Moscow Police Department released a detailed timeline of the victims' movements in the hours before and after this incident. Goncalves and Mogen, they went to a bar downtown called the Corner Club before ordering food from the grub truck at around 1:40 in the morning. The women then used a third-party private taxi driver and were home by 1:56 a.m. Now, that's according to police. Kernodle and her boyfriend Ethan Chapin, they went to a party at the Sigma Chi house on campus and returned to the King Road home at 1:45 a.m. The Moscow Police Department, which is working with the FBI and the Idaho State Police, have said that the attacks were targeted. Investigators, they have focused on tracking down the 2011 to 2013 white Hyundai Elantra that was spotted near the home at the time of the murders. Now, Chapin, he was a freshman from Mount Vernon, Washington, and a member of the Sigma Chi fraternity. He was studying recreation, sport, and tourism management, and this is according to the University of Idaho. Chapin's girlfriend, Xana Kernodle, who was from Avondale, Arizona, she was a junior majoring in marketing and a member of the Pi Beta Phi sorority. Mogen, she was a senior from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. She was studying marketing and a member of the Pi Beta Phi sorority. That's according to the University of Idaho. Goncalves, who was from Rathdrum, Idaho, was a senior majoring in general studies, and she was a member of the Alpha Phi sorority. Now, I do find it interesting that Goncalves, she was a member of the Alpha Phi sorority, and Maddie, she was a member of the Pi Beta Phi. These girls were so close. I wonder why they were not in the same sorority. That has had me thinking, because they've done so much together. Why didn't they join the same sorority together? That part has made me wonder, like, I'm sure they probably checked each other's out. I'm guessing. But I've always wondered, these girls were so tight. I'm surprised that they didn't join the same sorority together. Not that that has anything to do with this case. That just kind of caught my curiosity as to why they didn't do that part together, because they did everything else together, right? And so Goncalves, Kaylee, she had been set to graduate early in December, and she planned to move to Austin, Texas, where she had a marketing job lined up. She was also looking forward to an upcoming trip to Europe. Again, these kids had so much life to live, and then we find out that a person has finally been arrested. And you can see that this was over 2,500 miles away from the crime scene where they were arrested in Scranton, Pennsylvania, near or in Pocono Mountains. So that's a lot of traveling, and it sounds like it was a former student. So, question, what do you think? Is this anyone that we've even had on the radar? There's already being names thrown out there who were arrested, but we don't really know everything that's involved in here, right? So we know a 25-year-old man has been arrested, and this is according to sources. And so he was arrested in Pennsylvania's Pocono Mountains in connection with the murder of the 4 students. Law enforcement shared this. And so what we don't know is who could be involved with this, right? There's going to be a lot that continues to develop. There's a press conference today at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, 1 p.m., 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and 1 p.m. if you're in California, Idaho, way on the West Coast. And so a SWAT team entered the location where this 25-year-old was staying in order to take him into custody. So it wasn't like they just went, knocked on the door, and said, hey, we want to speak to so-and-so. There was a SWAT team. Now, sources said that authorities did know who they were searching for. They knew who they were looking for and had tracked the man down to Pennsylvania. I told you, they had a suspect. They just couldn't name it. I shared it so many times. I even defended Jack D. I wish you guys go and apologize, because I don't believe he's the one that's arrested. So you guys should go all apologize to him, whoever was pointing fingers. I get it, everyone's guilty until they have someone, but to actually go out and name the person as the guilty party, you should start apologizing now. I will apologize to you if we find out that Jack was part of this. I will come on and apologize to you. I don't think Jack D has anything to do with it. Right now, it doesn't even look like anybody that we have been associated with knew. Again, We'll know more today, and I will share if there are any breaking news around this. My guess is the person who is around here has probably already been named by the online sleuths, but we won't know until police say something. Because I do believe we better be careful who you're throwing out there, right? We better be careful who we are throwing out there before they officially name the person. If the news outlets all start jumping on it, that's when I start believing something a little more closer that, yep, this must be the person. But truth is, at the end of the day, I don't want to be naming names just to name names. I too have to be a little more careful. I will admit that. I will admit that I have to be a little more careful in this. What we don't know is, who is this person? I mean, we are all like, I literally was at Starbucks when the notification came, and I was like, boom, let's get home, jump on, because a lot of people are even following the story on my channel. So I feel like I can't just sit around and just like, oh, great, now they can go read it. No, a lot of people don't want to go read about it. They want to hear about it. They want to learn through video. They don't want to spend the time reading through a bunch of articles. So for me, I personally feel like, hey, you started this, keep up with it. That's my thought process on it. And at the end of the day, we're in this together, right? You are in this with me, I'm in this with you, and we all want one thing: justice for Idaho 4. And now, my friends, it looks like we're going to be getting some justice. And so an arrest paperwork filed by the Pennsylvania State Police said that an individual was being held for extradition in a criminal homicide investigation based on an active arrest warrant for first degree murder that was issued by the Moscow Police Department and Latah County Prosecutor's Office. So this is great news. I'm literally so excited to find out they finally might have someone. Yes. And here's the truth. They've had someone on their target for a minute. They've had someone, but they had to be careful because Chief Fry even said, we want to make sure that we have a complete case from point A to point B before we take this to get a full conviction. My friends, we finally have justice. The story can start spreading. We can finally get some justice for Idaho 4. I mean, you could probably tell how these kids deserve justice. And now we can finally look forward to some justice for them. I'm stoked, and I'm stoked for the family. I know that this is troubling, but I bet you they have a little bit of like, oh my gosh, we might see some closure behind this. Ethan's brother had posted on Reddit, I believe, or someone posted it from a verifiable account, that he got a call last night and he couldn't sleep after that, which led me to believe that this press conference that was coming up today, I just felt like it was big news. My wife was like, nah, it's probably a follow-up to the cleanup crew. I'm like, nope, I think this one is different. I feel different. Number one, it had been a little while since they announced the press conference. My friends, it looks like it's finally happening. Justice for Idaho 4. Moscow Police Department, I'm sorry we doubted you. It sounds like you guys were on it, doing the right thing. And as Chief Fry said, he should have been a little more open from the beginning. Who cares? As long as there's justice. As long as there's justice. Because what we know is they don't have all the DNA stuff back. They don't have all the research they were doing around the crime scene. They didn't have all the lab results back yet. And so Chief Fry, he shared like, we don't know when we'll have everything. Everything takes time. We have to be patient. Well, guess what, Chief Fry? It looks like you can start feeling a little better, hopefully. Great job. Again, this is still, I think phase 1 is now over. Phase 2 begins. The whole prosecution part, the interrogation more, the all the analysis around this, we have been wondering, is this white car actually part of the perp, or just someone who might have some part of accountability on this, someone who might have a little piece of that puzzle? Because even as close as yesterday, Moscow Police Chief Fry, he was sharing that you may have a little piece of the puzzle that you don't even know about. And truth is, Chief Fry already was onto this. He was probably just still collecting tips so that they can further have a stable case on this investigation. And now we want to know, okay, who is it? Hopefully we find that out today. We have to find that out today, right? We have to find this out today, because that's why they're holding a press conference, to give us an update on this so we can know what happened here. Let's get justice for Idaho 4. And, here's the truth about this. 4 young lives were brutally taken way too soon in this crazy world we live in. So here is my thought process on it. The accused Idaho murderer, the suspect, now we know that someone's been arrested. And from what I can tell, Bryan Kohberger is the perpetrator. Okay? Now, according to NBC Philadelphia's story, which broke today, the man was taken into custody near the Pocono Mountains in connection with the November 13th incident. And Kohberger, he was taken into custody. And let's give me a second here. Now, Kohberger, I don't know this name at all. Do you guys know this name at all? Because I have not heard about it at all. Is he responsible, or does he know someone that's responsible for this? What do you think about that? Because truth is, I've not heard this guy's name at all. Have you heard his name? Bryan Kohberger? And this is who he is. This is who they're saying that is arrested, Bryan Kohberger. And so the NBC Philadelphia story does not indicate a motive yet. The man was referred to in the NBC Philadelphia story as a person of interest. Now, authorities have not yet confirmed his arrest, but NBC New York called the man a suspect in its headline. And according to NBC Philadelphia, the man is in custody in Monroe County, Pennsylvania. And so Moscow, Idaho, they did announce that they're having their press conference today. And so it was posted to their Facebook page, and they announced that they will be holding a 1 p.m. Moscow, Idaho time press conference on Friday, today, in the city council chambers at 206 East 3rd Street of Moscow City Hall. Police Chief James Fry will give an update of the ongoing investigation into the quadruple incident that occurred at 1122 King Road on Sunday, November 13th. That's what the press release says. Now, officials from the Moscow Police Department, Idaho State Police, City of Moscow, University of Idaho will all be present. And this press conference, you will be able to watch live here on Deep True Crime. The police statement did not address NBC's Philadelphia's story about a suspect arrest, but it is said, they're asking, please hold all media inquiries until after the news conference. And truth is, we just want justice. We're not looking for all the other stuff other than justice for Idaho 4. Wouldn't you all agree with that? We want justice for Idaho 4 because at the end of the day, these kids deserve justice. And so, Bryan Kohberger, why did you do this? What did you do? When will we know the motive behind this. My friends, do you think they will be sharing a motive today? I'm guessing probably not. That's just my guess on it. What say you? Do you think they will share a motive today? Probably not. But you know what? If you're like me, you're okay with that. You just want justice for Idaho 4. We are not looking for anything else except justice for Idaho 4. And Bryan Kohberger, why? Why? Are you the perp, or are you the person that just knows a lot about this and so they want you to speak up? That's my thought process. But here's the thing about Bryan Kohberger. Kohberger. His name is not that important as I make sure I say the victims' names. But why did he do that? What is his connection? What do you think is his connection? Let me know in the comments if you know the connection to the incident. I'm looking up any other information while we're live on this. We might as well keep going at it, right? And so he is arrested in the connection. Now, remind you, we're going to probably, because this is so new. So one news outlet said 25-year-old was arrested. Another news outlet said 28-year-old arrested in the Poconos in connection with the murders of the 4 students. And so now Action News has confirmed that the man's name is Bryan Kohberger. Sources say that the authorities knew who they were looking for and tracked Kohberger down to Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania. And so a SWAT team entered the location that he was staying in and took him into custody. I wonder how he knew to track the person down. I wonder how. And so he did appear in front of a judge in Pennsylvania this morning. Court documents do show that the judge ordered Kohberger's extradition to Idaho, where he will face criminal charges. And the Moscow Police Department in Idaho, again, I'm looking forward to this news conference. And this comes a day after police said that they had received about 20,000 tips through more than 9,000 emails, 4,500 phone calls, 6,000 digital media submissions, while having conducted over 300 interviews in the case of the 4 students. And so the whole community has been shocked by this. Shocked. Not only that, this has become a nationwide story. And so Kohberger, what we do know about him is not too much, but let's see if we can't find a little more on him. And this was his Bryan Christopher Kohberger mugshot. Now, Brian Enton is sharing. So obviously it's rolling out. I knew I better just stay on long enough so that we can find out more as it's rolling out. So Brian Enton just shared it as well. And so you can see here, courtesy of Monroe County Correctional Facility, the arrest paperwork filed in Monroe County, Pennsylvania, knows 28-year-old Bryan Christopher Kohberger is being held for extradition in a homicide investigation. Now, Bryan says he's on his way to Pennsylvania now. He's going to cover that thing. And so News Nation will carry the police press conference. And you can catch it there. You can catch it here, because I even made sure I changed my schedule around a little bit so that we can make sure. So 212 days ago, Bryan allegedly research participation needed. My name is Bryan, and I'm inviting you to participate in a research project that seeks to understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision making when committing a crime. No friggin' way. It's amazing what someone can post, and it will be found. Again, unverified source right now, so please be careful. Take it with a grain of salt. Just because it's on Reddit or whatever does not mean it's accurate. But I do notice that this was posted. And a lot of times some of this stuff is real. Katie posted this. She looks like she's a Taylor Swift fan. In the event, so he puts there, in particular, this study seeks to understand the story behind your most recent criminal offense with an emphasis on your thoughts and feelings throughout your experience. Is this Bryan? Because right here it says at the bottom, student investigator Bryan Kohberger at dsales.edu. What school is that? I don't know. Let's see. What school is that? This person also shared that same thing. Bryan Kohberger, supposed Idaho, is now in custody. Posted this 200, again, the same thing that I'm sharing. So the additional surveys are included after the open-ended section as to best understand your unique traits. The study should take about 15 to 20 minutes to fully complete. So Bryan is, again, you know how people can look you up really fast on this. So again, at first they were saying 25-year-old. It looks like he's more like 28 years old. And so this is his face. Wow. Everyone's posting this. I'm telling you, give it enough time, it comes up. So Bryan, he's in custody. He's arrested. I mean, I am so I'm like floored right now. Again, this whole case has felt like a surreal moment. I literally feel like now it's real. Now we can finally get some justice. This is not some fly by night. This didn't really, wow. This guy was a PhD student in criminal justice. This guy was, oh my gosh, like, it's almost like he tried to do this. I could be wrong. A theory, please. Theory. Just theorizing this. It almost looks like he did this crime to see what it's like to be a criminal. I'm just theorizing, my friends. Lynx had posted that he was a PhD student in criminal justice at Washington State, which puts him in the area. No way. Makes more sense now. Yes, it does. So you can see Bryan.Kohberger at WSU something. That's that Pullman. I did a video on that when a SWAT team had to do something recently about two roommates getting into it and one pulling out a gun or something like that. So, at the end of the day, you're probably like me, let's get some justice for this person. And truth is, we don't really know. They made an arrest now. We're going to find out. Now, obviously, I'm glad I even kept searching because now we know Bryan Christopher Kohberger is the perp. And Bryan, you have been caught. Now, hopefully you share your motive with us because now you're in for a long process, Bryan. And truth is, at the end of the day, we're all on the same page. We're all on the same page. We wanted justice for this guy. And so here he is, a PhD student at Washington State University. Looks like it is, which is only like 10 minutes away from the University of Idaho. And here he is all over Pocono Mountains. Thank you for helping in this case. And so now we wait to find out more as to why. What do you guys think is the motive? Is it part of his study? We can theorize, but you can see the Court of Common Pleas of Monroe County, which is sharing about this. So Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus Bryan Christopher Kohberger. And you can see on this is the disposition sentencing. Defendant was present when they found him. He will not be getting any bond. Order denying motion to set bail, filed by Michael Muth. Do we know if he has an attorney yet? Obviously, probably not if they just arrested him. So he most likely does not have an attorney yet, is my guess at this very moment. And you can see here on another one, again, Twitter can be all over things real quick, and that's exactly what I'm sharing with you. Date of birth, November 21st. Wow, so he even celebrated his 28th birthday? He celebrated his 28th birthday shortly after committing this crime. So this happened on November 13th, and literally less than 2 weeks later, less than 10 days later, he celebrated his 28th birthday. Wow. 94, 24. Wow. So again, born in 94, which, yeah, wow. So Bryan Christopher Kohberger, yeah, denied bond so far. And I'm glad about that. He don't need no, I mean, really, should it even be up for consideration? Not at all. But everyone gets their day. Right now, he's just arrested. We don't know what they have on him, but who shared this name at all? This is why I said don't point fingers at Jack D. I truly did not believe that this guy was part of this. Again, we've all been fooled before, and that's where a lot of people were coming from, was that, hey, we've known before that people that we didn't think could be responsible was actually responsible. So this has happened before. Let's make sure that we are sharing innocent until proven guilty. Right now, he's just arrested. We don't know what role he played. We don't know anything. We just know what the media is sharing. He is listed as criminal justice student at Washington State University in Pullman. So you can see that here. But I want to make sure that we understand he's not been found guilty in the court of law. We just know he's arrested in connection to this crime. And that's all we know. So right now, all we can do is wait until we know more. Because I'm sure just like you, and just like me, and we're like, okay, let's know why he did this. Well, first, let's make sure that we're careful to give him his day in court. We have plenty of time after all the stuff comes out. What I will say that I am convinced, here's why I believe, again, just my theory. This is why I believe that they have the right guy or someone who is very well connected to this, because Chief Fry has made it clear. We cannot delve information. We have to make sure we got all of our ducks in a row. I'm summing up what he's saying. He wanted to make sure that all the ducks are in a row so that they can have the right case. And they can have a case that is strong against them. So I think that it's extremely key that we are careful with who that we're just now let him get his day in court. We are excited that they've arrested someone because it sounds like they're on the right trail, right? That's all we know. They're on the right trail. Bryan Christopher Kohberger, I would like to know the motive. If you are indeed the person who did this, or if you are indeed the person who knows about this. But again, it's said that he has been charged with first degree, meaning premeditated. They've had someone on their radar all along. They just had to make sure they had the right information. My friends, my whole goal is to be a voice for the victims and to make sure that you are aware of what could go wrong in this crazy world we live in, because this is a crazy world we live in. And my friends, if this is the type of content you like to follow, make sure you hit that subscribe button. That way you get notified whenever I upload or I go live to share with you breaking news just like this. I'm Manny Rodriguez, my friends, and at the end of the day, I just want to be a voice for the victims, and I want to make sure that you are aware of what could go wrong in this crazy world we live in. It is a crazy world. We have to be safe and careful, and even though, just like in these girls' case, we don't really know when something goes so wrong that it's just changing the whole life for everyone. But now we can start towards the getting justice for Idaho 4. It looks like we might start in the right way. I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to serving you again. Peace.